Hey, what's going on?
Hey, entering Sunday, 11 different guys have either caught a touchdown or rushed for a touchdown. And I think only 8 all of last year. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's just spreading the ball around, really. Justin's doing a nice job of spreading the ball around, and guys are stepping up. Obviously, you design plays for certain guys, and sometimes it doesn't come up the way you want to, and he does a nice job of going through his progression and finding the next guy. So it's been good.
And how much does it put pressure on a defense to really account for everybody, not just homing in on maybe 1 or 2, the big name guys?
Yeah, no, absolutely. When you can spread the ball around to multiple guys, obviously you got to count for everybody on the field. So the more we can do it, the better.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Chris.
Cam.
Hey, Shane, you had a couple plays in there where Easton Stick came in the game and kind of gave you some versatility or difference.
Yeah.
Do you have a package for Tyrod Taylor when he's fully healthy to get in the game and kind of give you some more creativity?
If we did have a package for Tyrod, I probably wouldn't tell you guys. But
fair enough.
That's a good question.
Fair enough. In terms of your running game, what are you doing to kind of help the guys? Coach Lynn said he wants the guys to kind of make some plays, get in rhythm, and make some big plays. What are you doing to kind of specifically help that out other than, coaching the offensive lineman to do a little bit better blocking? I don't know.
Oh, I think that's what you said. I mean, it just starts. I mean, the communication, I say it every week. I mean, you got to look at what they're playing defensively and go from your schemes from there and be on the same page.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Cam.
Shawn.
Hey, Coach. About that Easton Stick package, how important is that going forward, considering the issues or the struggles you're having right now with the run game?
I just think it's something you look at every week. It could be up, it may not be up. So it's just something we look at from an offensive standpoint, if it gives an advantage or not, and then we go from there.
And then in terms of when you watch film with Justin, what are some of the things that you point out to him when he tucks and runs? What are things that you're specifically looking at with him and things that you're trying to get across to him?
Yeah, I think obviously be smart, get what you can and get down. I know that he ran the guy over towards the end of the game and guys were excited about it, but at the same time, we got to be smart. You can't do that too many times in this league because you'll get banged up pretty quickly, but he's learning every week and we'll go from there.
And then as a play caller, when, the running game's not going, the way you want it to, what are something like, how do you make up for that?
Well, I think sometimes you start to mix it a little bit. If the run game's not going, you start throwing in the pass, and then you soften them up a little bit, and then you get back to the run game. I think it's a little combination of both, and then you go back and look at what you got on the call sheet and what they're playing defensively, and then you switch up your run schemes as the game goes on, and you got to adjust.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Michael.
Hey, Coach. So far this season, you've had a ton of success with multiple tight end sets, and with Virgil out a handful of weeks, how much does that affect you being able to stick with those multiple tight end sets?
I think the guys we got with Donald Parham and Steven Anderson, they're going to step up. And you got Hunter Henry, so we still got 3 tight ends, and obviously Donald's caught 2 touchdowns, and Steven's been pretty good in the blocking for us, and he's obviously a guy that we can throw the ball to as well. So all 3 of those guys we're excited about. I don't think it's going to change much for us there, but losing Virgil is big. He was a heck of a player for us.
Like you said, you've kept 4 tight ends on the active roster up to this point. Is there a chance that you do want to bring in one more body, or are you okay with 3 guys there?
Yeah, no, we'll see. We're always looking at stuff like that going forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Shane. I think a lot of people so far through Justin's first 5 starts have seen just a more aggressive quarterback than he was in college. How much of that is just, the scheme that you guys are running? How much of it is also just having better weapons and maybe feeling more comfortable throwing those balls in the tight windows to guys like, Keenan and Mike and Hunter, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he just does a great job of seeing the field. And like you said, he's just getting more comfortable week in and week out. I attribute it to him and the rest of the guys, how they're doing it, because the players really make it all come to life out on the field. But they do a heck of a job preparing every week, and he does a nice job, like I say, every week preparing, and then obviously working with them in practice and seeing the reads and seeing the field. He's seen it well, and we got to continue that trend.
And just as far as pre-snap stuff, you had a guy in Phillip Rivers when you were calling plays last year that was, one of the best in the league in terms of how much he could do at the line, how many different plays he could audible out of, protections, all that kind of stuff. How much has it changed your job now having a rookie in there who can't do as much of the stuff as, say, Phillip could do in terms of even getting the run game going, switching, audibling to a run out of a pass, that sort of thing? How much has that changed your job and approach?
Yeah, it's changed a little bit, obviously, but Justin, he's getting there. Every week we talk about certain looks that he can get to. I'm not going to say specifically what it was, but he had a check in the game that he checked to, and it was a huge play for us. So that was huge progress to see that. It was a big-time play in the game, but he's getting there. And obviously, we got to continue to work with him on that. And as he continues to get more and more reps, he's going to be better at it going forward.
And then just talking with Justin, there's obviously a balance between, allowing him to play fast, but also getting those kinds of pre-snap looks that you're looking for in terms of audibling and that sort of thing. How fine of a balance is that for you, having him make the kind of checks that you want him to make, but also not putting too much on his plate where it sort of slows him down?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go into a game plan with exactly what you said. I mean, you don't want to have too many checks in the game plan because then it's just a lot of action going on. So you want to limit that menu. And then you go from there. So if you have a small menu and then you build on that menu week in as he gets more comfortable, it makes his job easier and it makes our job easier as well.
And then just one more question about just the Easton stick package. What is he bringing to the field that maybe Justin isn't? And what is it as simple as just throwing something on tape that a team has to prepare for?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a quarterback-driven run in there, and it was just something we threw out there, and take a look at it, and we'll go from there.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
Shane, second straight October where you guys have gotten off to a good start, first couple games in the running game, and then have hit a rough patch. Is there any commonality between the two seasons, or is it just this year in terms of injuries and everything that have piled up?
Yeah, I don't know if you can contribute to one thing. I mean, these guys, I know our yards per carry, our average isn't great, but we're still going for 100 a game. So the guys are doing a good job up front. I really do. They're blocking hard. We're moving the football, and we got to continue that trend. And obviously, like I said, if we can pop one or two big ones, your average per carry always goes up.
Any concern about your stuff percentage being up, though, the last couple of weeks? Because I think you've had no gains or lost yards.
I'm sorry, you say stuff percentage? What do you say?
Your runs that have been stuffed, like no gain or lost yards the past 3 games. It's been like 15, 16%.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's your question on that?
Any concern about those types of carries?
Oh, yeah. No. I think that happens. It's football sometimes. And you got to overcome those things going forward, and we got to get better.
Okay. And then just with you threw a lot at Jacksonville the first half with the Easton package, the jet sweeps and everything. Any concern about putting too much out there on tape in one game and one half?
No, not at all. I thought our guys offensively handled it pretty good. And then obviously we got rolling there in the third quarter and it was a good way to finish.
Okay. Thanks, Shane.
Yep. Thanks, Joe.
Fernando.
Hey, Shane. I know you talked a little bit about Donald earlier, but can you just talk a little bit more about him and just what he's brought to the team? And do you feel like he could fill that void that Virgil's leaving?
Yeah, I think Donald's done a nice job. Obviously, it started in training camp. He made a ton of plays in training camp for us. And then through the first couple of weeks of the season, he gradually kept getting better. And then obviously he started playing for us and caught the big touchdown against Tampa Bay and then had this one last week down the seam. So he's continuing to improve every week. We like his progress, and we got to continue his progress going forward.
And then notice that Troymaine Pope got a little bit a couple of carries there on and snaps on Sunday. What does he bring to the offense, and do you feel like you guys are going to use him a little bit more as the season continues?
Yeah, Pope's a versatile player for us. He can catch the ball to the backfield, and he's a good runner. He's a quick, shifty guy that can hit the hole pretty well, and then obviously you can use him out of the backfield. Good player for us going forward.
And then this weekend you guys face Bradley Chubb, Justin Simmons, AJ Boye. Can you just talk about that defense and just what you've seen on tape for them?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a salty group on defense. I think they're 8th in total defense. And like you said, Chubb on the outside, not only is he a great pass rusher, but he's really good in the run game as well. And then 59 on the other side, he's rushing the passer pretty good. And then 47 inside and 45, their 2 linebackers are great tacklers. So we got to be ready for them. And like you said, Simmons and Jackson on the back end, I think they complement each other really well. Jackson's a very aggressive safety, and then Simmons is really rangy. So really good compliment back there. And like you said, Bouye getting him from Jacksonville, he's a rangy guy too that can cover. So it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us on Sunday.
Thank you, Shane.
Michael.
Coach, Justin Herbert joined Patrick Mahomes as the only two quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for over 250 in their first 5 starts. Have you ever just kind of taken a step back and realized all of his success while also throwing, 6 of his 12 touchdowns have gone to undrafted players? Just have you, racking your brain, can compare any other quarterback starts to just the type of success you're seeing from him right now?
Yeah, I think it's great that we're having success. But, ultimately we're trying to win the football game. And we got one done, but am happy for him and what he's doing. But we got to continue it going forward because it's a long season.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, 3 more guys, and I got to get Shane out to practice. Cam, go ahead.
Hey, Shane. Could you elaborate on Herbert's menu that you discussed earlier? His play calling menu. How much of this is his input, and how much input does he have on this menu per se?
Well, I think we just go through it every week in meetings. We kind of put it together and say, hey, here's what it is. And like I said, it's just we go through it and talk about it and what we feel comfortable with. Nothing more than that to it.
Roughly, how much of your offense have you installed, or is this actually a moving target throughout the season?
A lot of it's in. Obviously, you have wrinkles every week. Like I say, going forward, depending on who you're playing, there's going to be wrinkles every week. But our base of what we are is in.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Cam.
Got you.
Thanks. Shane, how would you describe the process has been each week for Justin Herbert in the sense how has he been finding his unique voice and leading the offense?
Yeah, no, he's been good. I mean, obviously, when you make plays on the field as a rookie, you gain respect right away. And he's been making plays. So when you make plays, no matter what year you were in, you gain respect on how you play. And obviously, he's getting comfortable with the guys in the huddle and in the locker room, and it's been going good for
And
him.
Joe, finish it off.
Shane, how impressive have you been with Justin on the deep passes? 3 TDs last week, over 20 yards in the air, and I think like the last 3 weeks too, he's really excelled on the deep balls, especially to Guyton.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Joe. He really has done a nice job. I mean, the ball comes off his hand effortlessly and he flicks in, it spins, but his accuracy with the deep balls down the field has been very impressive. I mean, the one he hit the Guyton down the sidelines, I was standing right on the sidelines, and I mean, he couldn't have thrown it any perfect. I mean, he hit him right in stride. So that was a big time play. And then obviously the Tampa Bay one and the one against New Orleans on the post. It's been good. So we got to continue that trend, and it starts on the practice field with the timing of routes.
Was that something you guys saw in filming, or maybe during the Senior Bowl and scouting them?
Yeah, no, we knew he had a heck of an arm, like everyone did, and his accuracy was always good as well. But when you get the timing with the receivers out on the practice field and work it every day, it continues to get better and better as we keep going.
Okay, and then just last thing from me, was that deep pass to Guyton something he checked into, or was that designed all along?
It was just called play.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
All right, Shane. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Shane.
Appreciate it. See you.
All right, guys. We'll see you out there.